That boy died so they could cash in a motherfucking insurance policy and to cover up the fact that Roc Nation was ripping Megan away from 300. I guess nobody's paying attention to the fact that complete control of Megan Thee Stallion's career was taken over right after TakeOff died.
I'm gonna hurt somebody, bro.
Oh, what are you doing? No, hell no.
When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts.
So Jaguar Wright is back at it again, making shocking allegations about her usual suspect, Jay-Z. And this time, Jaguar is claiming that Jay's company, Roc Nation, had a hand in the tragic death of Migos rapper TakeOff. She's alleging that TakeOff's was part of a larger scheme, a corporate hostile takeover orchestrated by Roc Nation. And get this, according to Jaguar, at the center of it all is Megan Thee Stallion, who famously clashed with her former label 1501 Certified Entertainment and its CEO, Jay Prince. Adding fuel to the fire, Jaguar pointed out that Jay Prince's son was present at the scene on the night of TakeOff's passing, suggesting a connection to Roc Nation. But here's the big question. Is there any concrete evidence to back up Jaguar's claims linking TakeOff's death to Roc Nation and Megan Thee Stallion? That's what we're here to unpack. So let's dig into the details.
Because
and I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh,
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit.
It's been a year and a half since the Migos rapper TakeOff was killed, and it still stings to think about how senseless and random this tragedy was. TakeOff was literally an innocent bystander who got hit by a stray bullet. Well, at least that's the official story. But according to Jaguar Wright and some other industry insiders, nothing about TakeOff's death was random. So to give you some context, on November 1st, 2022, TakeOff was fatally shot at 810 Billiards and Bowling in Houston, Texas. He was at a private party with his bandmate and uncle Quavo, and the event wrapped up at around 1 a.m. Later, outside the venue, things took a terrible turn. It seems Quavo was involved in some sort of disagreement with a group of people, allegedly over a dice game. Some words were exchanged, and before you knew it, were fired. Unfortunately, TakeOff, who wasn't directly involved, ended up being hit by a stray bullet. According to the Houston Police Department, TakeOff was found DOA, while 2 other victims who sustained wounds were taken to the hospital.
Once officers arrived, they came upon a male who was deceased. That male has been identified as Kersnick Ball, better known as TakeOff. He's a member of the Migos rap group out of Atlanta. And everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist. And I'm calling up on everybody, our hip-hop artists in Houston and around the nation. We got to police ourselves. It is so many talented individuals, men and women, in that community, who again I love and I respect. And we all need to stand together and make sure nobody tears down that industry.
Now, there was a lot of conflicting information at the time about what really happened, and many people on social media were quick to point fingers at Quavo, saying he was partly responsible for what happened to TakeOff. See, earlier that night, Quavo shared a video on his IG driving around Houston with Jazz Prince, Jay Prince's son. So in case you're not familiar with Jay Prince, he's the CEO and co-founder of Houston-based record label Rap-A-Load, and likes to refer to himself as the King of Houston. As for his son Jazz Prince, he's made a name for himself with his streetwear brand Mob Ties. Now, word on the street is that whenever high-profile rappers roll into Houston, Jay Prince takes on the role of providing protection. But there's a flip side to this story. There have been whispers swirling around about Jay Prince and his son allegedly extorting artists and charging them astronomical fees for their protection services. And then there are also some rumors about these dice games where artists allegedly end up getting set up. See, TakeOff isn't the first person to lose his life after attending a game organized by Jazz Prince. Just 2 months before TakeOff died, Chicago's Duke the jeweler was reportedly robbed after winning $100,000 in a dice game and was later ambushed and fatally shot while walking to his car. And this is why some fans were calling out Quavo after TakeOff died, saying he should have known better than to associate himself with J. Prince and the Mob Ties crew. Now, as for the suspect who TakeOff, on December 2nd, 2022, the police arrested Patrick Xavier Clark under the suspicion that he fired the TakeOff. In May 2023, Clark was indicted by a grand jury for TakeOff's murder, and the trial is set to start this summer. Now, just one day after he was arrested, Clark posted a $1 million bond and was released on house arrest. But in November 2023, it was reported that Clark was no longer required to be on house arrest or wear a monitor. He only has a curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. According to the court documents, Clark is also banned from contacting witnesses, victims, and family members of TakeOff, including J. Prince Jr. and Shakur Stevenson. The order also prohibits Clark from contacting J. Prince in any capacity. But Clark still maintains his innocence, and his attorney, Letitia Quinones-Hollins, recently told Rolling Stone that her client did not fire the bullets that hit TakeOff. She also claimed that the video and ballistic evidence that the investigators used to arrest Clark would not hold up as conclusive in the trial. There was someone else who started the shit. It was not Patrick Clark, Quinones-Hollins told Rolling Stone. He was in the same position that TakeOff was in. He was trying to get out of there alive as well. He didn't have anything to do with the argument that occurred. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when people started firing weapons. Now, here's where it gets even more wild. There's this theory going around that TakeOff was sacrificed, with some folks even speculating that the fact that he was killed on Halloween was not a coincidence. Some fans also pointed out that just a day before the tragic event, Quavo and TakeOff dropped the music video for their track Messy, which features some pretty creepy imagery and symbolism. There's a scene with a group of people gambling and squabbling over cards, Quavo chilling with a gun nearby while looking at a Migos contract, and TakeOff standing next to a drawing of the Grim Reaper with the letters R.I.P. Now, the big question is, why would anyone sacrifice a successful artist who made a lot of money for a lot of people? Well, allegedly, in the music industry, death can be just as profitable as a #1 record. Cat Williams recently talked about this in an interview, and while he didn't name TakeOff, he said that it's no coincidence that so many young rappers meet untimely ends because every time one of them dies, there's someone higher up making a lot of money off of that tragedy.
When these rappers get not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up.
By the way, shortly after TakeOff died, former music executive and video director Robbie Starbuck went viral after sharing a video about these rumored industry sacrifices.
Here's the truth. The truth is this: a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death.
Starbuck claimed that record executives deliberately push black artists to promote behaviors that are harmful to their own community in order to keep them traumatized and easily manipulated with money.
The industry's obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. You know, they create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was.
Starbuck went as far as to claim that record executives are in cahoots with the government, using black artists to carry out their questionable agendas.
Use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture?
Now, Starbuck didn't drop any names when he hinted at record label executives allegedly benefiting from artists' deaths, but leave it to Jaguar Wright to fill in all the blanks. She's pointing fingers, and guess who's in the spotlight? None other than Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. In her latest sit-down with Real Life Productions, Jaguar went full throttle with a wild theory linking TakeOff's demise to Megan Thee Stallion's beef with Jay Prince, her former label boss. Megan initially signed up with 1501 Certified Entertainment back in 2018. Fast forward to 2020, and she's making waves, trying to renegotiate her contract with 1501, which ended up delaying her debut album. And according to Jaguar, Roc Nation had its eyes set on taking over Megan's career completely. But here's the kicker. Jay Prince wasn't having any of it. Then tragedy struck with TakeOff's death, and suddenly Roc Nation seemed to gain full control over Megan's career.
Corporate TakeOff's death wasn't nothing but a corporate hostile takeover using his life as the god. Oh my God.
Man, RIP TakeOff.
That boy died so they could cash in a insurance policy and to cover up the fact that Roc Nation was ripping Megan away from 300. I guess nobody's paying attention to the fact that complete control of Megan Thee Stallion's career was taken over right after TakeOff died, and the Prince family were forced to leverage and let her go, even though they did not want to. Isn't that interesting?
Houston politics. Let me ask you, because...
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit.
Now, you know how it is. Whenever Jaguar Wright starts talking, the internet splits into two camps, with some folks calling her nuts and accusing her of fabricating stories for attention, and others swearing that she's the straight-up truth teller in the industry. And now it seems like there's a fair amount of people buying into the idea that Roc Nation might have had a hand in TakeOff's demise. One fan commented, took Nipsey out to broker the deal for the tourist zone in Crenshaw and took over the marijuana biz, took out Dolph Fagati, got Tory sent up for Megan, and asked Big Sam why he got booked. Roc Nation. And another person added, Jaguar Wright just needs her own channel to break this down in a podcast series. This is going to go beyond 2024. But let me know your thoughts on Jaguar blaming Roc Nation for TakeOff's death. Do you think she's on to something here? Drop your comments below and then check out this next video.